Elias, what's the last 12 months been like for you?
It's been a lot. Played on a couple teams, had a new baby, and it's been a lot.
A trade during All-Star. I mean, there's been a lot that's happened. A pretty good playoff run, too, Game 7. What's it been like settling here in Boston?
No, it's been good. My wife was pregnant, so we came kind of early, which was good for us to kind of get to know everything and all the people and a little bit of the city and kind of get settled in and get our stuff from Calgary and Vancouver and so on. So it's been a lot, but we're settled in and we're good to go.
What drew you to Boston?
I mean, I think for me and my family, this was the best fit. I think, you always, throughout my career, you kind of looked at, the players here and it always kind of was interesting, to see what it was like here. And I was just happy that it all worked out. I think, obviously, all the players, they had throughout the years, and obviously they're a really good team. I think they had, obviously played for that back-to-back years now in the playoffs, and it's been fun to watch from the outside. So it'll be fun to be a part of now.
How have the guys welcomed you in?
No, it's been good. I mean, obviously, talked to Marshy a couple times during the summer, and Hampus as well, and a couple of other guys reached out. But overall, since I got here, it's been super easy to get settled in and get to know guys, and so far so good, and everyone's been super nice.
With two Lindholms on the team, what do they call you?
Yeah, that's I think that's been the biggest issue. I think obviously we go by the same nickname, but we're still trying to work on a solution there.
Does it help that one of you plays defense? Like how does that? I mean, someone's yelling Lindy. Like, are both of you turning around?
Yeah, it happens quite often actually. I think Hampus goes by Hammer and so on, and Zadorov calls me Linds, and yeah, I mean it's like I said, it's been probably the biggest problem so far, and try to work on a solution.
If that's your biggest problem, I think things are going pretty well. Yeah. When it comes to Hampus, were you friends? Did you know each other before this? Were you tight?
I wouldn't say tight, but we knew each other. Obviously, growing up, we're the same age and crossed path a little bit, national team and so on. And our moms kind of got to know each other throughout the national teams there, and kind of kept in touch a little bit. So we know each other quite well.
So who followed who? I guess, is Nikita following you? Are you following Nikita? And then place to place to place. When did you guys realize you were both coming to Boston? Were you talking to each other the whole time?
I just tried to keep it kind of quiet this summer. I wasn't talking too much, honestly, and kind of let it play out a little bit. But I think we kind of do him both ways. I think he followed me to Calgary, and then I somehow followed him to Vancouver a little bit, and now we just ended up here. So it's good to have him on the same team.
Does it help to have a familiar face when you go to a new team?
Yeah, for sure. I think I've been lucky enough to, obviously, the trade to Calgary, where Hannafin came with me, and obviously, when the trade to Vancouver happened, Zadorov was already there. So, yeah, it definitely helps to have a guy or to lean on a little bit.
When you look back to last season for yourself, I watched the series, particularly against Edmonton. And it seemed like you were, hugely impactful in terms of your team and the success that you had getting to the playoffs. But when you look at the season as a whole, some people might point to that and say, hey, Lindholm didn't have the production numbers that he's used to seeing in some years. How do you evaluate last season? Where do you feel like your game is? And do you feel like at any point did the contract and what was coming, did that weigh on you? Is that hard to deal with?
It was definitely more than I expected. Obviously, the way everything went with Calgary, it was just, A lot to handle. At the same time, you try to, work and do good stuff on the ice and still have that in the back of your mind. But and then obviously when I came to Vancouver, obviously it didn't work out the way I wanted in the beginning, but I think people always have opinions. Obviously last season, throughout the regular season, wasn't the way I wanted to go, but that's one of those years. I think in the playoffs I picked it up and kind of find my level again, and what kind of player kind of showed or proved what kind of player I am, and obviously that's my goal to play like that for my time here.
And when you see that come together in the playoffs, like what does that describe for me? What that looks like when you're at your best? What does that look like?
I think we find some good things there. Me, Garland, and Yasha. I think we find our role quite well. I think we're really hard to play against, and that's just my type of game. I think I want to be one of those guys that is hard to play against every shift, and obviously produce some points and help the team in both ways. So obviously. You have one of the best players ever to play that role here that recently retired. So I mean, I'm in good hands here. Obviously, So I just want to be one of those players that is hard to play against and help the team in both ways.
And hard to play against, but also able to produce. Like you've proven in Calgary, when you play with top-end players, you can put up monster numbers. When you get a chance to maybe play with someone like Pastrnak here, what's that like, even just in camp, trying to develop some chemistry?
No, I mean, I've been lucky enough to play with, like you said, some really good players, and I think that helps me as well, to raise my level, and obviously I'm maybe not as skilled as those guys, but I think I can play with those guys, definitely, and just playing with Pasta, you can see, he's obviously one of the top guys in the league, and does stuff that most guys couldn't do. So I mean, so far it's been fun to get to know him and so on, and hopefully we can, do a lot of good things throughout the years here.
What's it like going up against this defense on a day-to-day basis in practice?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to have them on my team. I think obviously this decor is probably one, the best I've been a part of. I think you got a little bit of everything with McAvoy is obviously one of the best D-men in the league, and the addition of Zadorov and Carlo and Hampus and the young guy like Lohrei and so on. So I mean it's a good mix. Obviously everyone is pretty big and strong. So I mean it's definitely hard to play against, and obviously we're gonna need that if we want to do something good.
What are the expectations for this team this season? The last couple of years you've played on some teams with different ones, but what's it like stepping into this building and what they're setting their sights on?
I mean, just walking in there, the standard is quite high. I think everyone wants the same goal, and that's obviously to win the Stanley Cup. Obviously, there's a lot of bumps on the way to get there, but I think this division is only getting better every year, so it'll be tough. But I mean, I think our team and this team, always set their eyes on the Stanley Cup, and but like I said, it's a long way there, and I think for us to get into playoffs, and then we'll see what happens.
Elias, looking forward to watching you chase it. Thanks so much for your time, and best of luck this year.
Thank you so much.